Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody. It's great being here. My name is Alex Wormuth. I'm the founder of HexCare, which is a small startup here in LA. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit how data has the potential to save lives. And to do that, I'm going to start by telling you about someone who I love dearly. That's my grandma Joanne, and that's me a really long time ago. Really long time ago. What's really unique about her is that she is extremely selfless, and not only because she always used to buy me my favorite video games when I was little, but she always used to care for me unconditionally without even really knowing me, or she didn't even have to do that. 20 years later, this is my high school graduation, she's developed type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and a host of other chronic conditions, and it's critical that at this time in her life she receives the best possible care from her doctors. So briefly, I just want to outline kind of the current standard of care for a lot of different conditions. So just imagine this is someone's blood pressure over time. So those little dots would be office visits. So very infrequent, maybe I go in every 6 months and I get my blood pressure and my weight taken. But aside from that, the doctor really has no idea what's happening at home. And this is an example of what someone's blood pressure could look like at home. It's very sporadic, it changes day to day, and during the peaks, people are actually more likely to die of a heart attack or a stroke. So it's critical that doctors have access to this information. Right now, to fill these gaps, doctors ask patients to write things down or remember things, and they're expected after 6 months to come back in and relay all that information to their doctor. But my grandma doesn't want to do that. She wants to drink wine and enjoy her time here. She doesn't want to have to write things down every day and wait 6 months to relay that information to her doctor. So, unfortunately, my grandma didn't receive the best possible care, and that's the story I want to tell you today. So, last October, my grandma had a throat surgery. Before the surgery, her weight was 130 pounds. Typical, she's older, she's about 80. 130 pounds, decent weight. She was getting food and water slowly trapped in her lungs, so she needed surgery to fix that. Surgery seemed to go successful. A couple weeks later, she had a follow-up visit, and her weight's 125 pounds. So she's losing a little weight, but still seems normal. This was at Christmas, last Christmas, just a few months ago. My grandma was the one in the middle here, right there. You can tell she's starting to get a little skinnier, but as she was engaging with us at the Christmas get-together, she seemed normal, still humorous, her normal self. She was eating the turkey and everything was great. None of us would have really known anything was wrong. After the fact, I found out from my mom that she had another visit, and she was down to 115 pounds. And the doctor basically told her, okay, you're losing some weight. We got to do something about this. So why don't you start a liquid diet or start trying to eat more, and come back in 2 or 3 months and we'll reassess. And that's kind of where things started going downhill when the doctor told her just to come back in a few months and we'll see what's happening. So about 3 weeks ago, my mom got a call that my grandma was in the ICU on life support. She was 95 pounds in the ICU. She never really suffered from any major diseases. She didn't have any cancer. But she was inevitably too weak to fight off the condition. She was basically losing too much weight. She was dehydrated. She wasn't eating as much as she should have been. And no one really knew that. No one was watching out for her. And 95 pounds, if you look at this graph, this is a very short amount of time. I think it's important to note that this is like almost over 25% of her body weight in just a few months, and no one took any extra steps to prevent this from happening, especially her clinicians. So this was when I said goodbye to my grandma just a couple weeks ago. Kind of after the fact, obviously you want to see if you could have done anything or done anything different. But, you know, life is life, and you have to move on. But I think why I came here today and why I want to tell you this story is because I'm extremely passionate about the value that data can provide. So if you're looking at this graph, I think that, and I think I've talked to some clinicians, and a lot of clinicians would agree that there are things that could have been done. Imagine this use case where there are technologies out there like wireless scales that people can buy, you know, at Best Buy, but right now that information is not provided to their clinicians. Now, if she had been stepping on the scale every morning and that information was provided to her care team in real time every day, they could have intervened sooner and would have seen that the trend was going down and they needed to take extra measures to prevent this from happening. And it could have ended up in a, you know, grandma might still have been here for another day, which at the end of the day, it's made me realize that our family and human connection is extremely important, and I think data can help clinicians provide better care to their patients. And this is just one use case that I've experienced. I've talked to many people where, you know, whether you have hypertension or diabetes or other conditions, there's all this valuable data out there, but it needs to be presented in a better way to clinicians. So that's pretty much my talk. I just want to challenge you guys to do two things. One, advocate for data in healthcare, and two, advocate for your loved ones. Thank you.
Chris.